Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's O'Neil from Tapton O'Neil. It's another week, another $1,000 deposit. Got a lot of things to cover in the portfolio. This week was kind of up and down. It's been crazy what's been going on. You guys know with the Fed's decision, a lot of the appreciation within the market has been kind of getting wiped away a little bit because expectations for rate cuts have dwindled just a bit. I think our expectations were around sitting at about a 102 to 105% chance that the Fed was going to cut interest rates, but that did drop to about 96% after the PPI report came out. And so that does affect a lot of things. And once that PPI report came out, the market net affected got affected negatively. So it's kind of crazy, like my portfolio went to its highest of its highs. I'm gonna show you guys what exactly it went to, but you guys gotta see, like I'm pretty sure you guys see a lot of price appreciation within you guys' portfolios and what happened. But then it did have some bit of a pullback towards the middle to the end of the week. But yeah, let's not waste no time. Let's go ahead and get into the laptop version, do our $1,000 weekly deposit, and then move over to the mobile version of the app, and then let's go from there. Stay tapped in. All right, so as you guys can see, we are currently sitting at $67,131.69. This is within the individual investing portfolio. It's been a lot of ups and downs. I'll show you just the movement on the week. On the week, we're up $1,549.46. That's a 2.36 gain in a week. Let's see where we topped out at this week. We topped out at $70,724. That was when we was up $5,000 within this week. That's crazy. So a lot of those gains got wiped away after the PPI report came out. But let's see how much we're up on the month. See how we're doing. We're doing pretty good on the month. Almost a 50% gain on the month. That's over 8,500, 8,522 and 66 cents on the month. We do have a buying power of $10,000, $10,232.52. Let's see. Okay, that's new. All right, so our margin total is sitting at $43,473.63. Margin used is at $33,241.11. And our borrowing or our risk buffer is at $10,392.23. So that did increase, and I'll explain exactly why that increased. So let's go ahead and do our $1,000 deposit. Get into it. I'm gonna try to make this video as smoothly and quickly as possible. I don't want to make it too long because I'm bringing it to you guys a little bit later than usual. So yeah, $1,000. View transfer. Continue with the standard. Give it a little bit. All right, let's see what the total account is sitting at now. All right, now we're sitting at $68,152.51. Our buying power went up $2,000. As you guys know, every time I invest or deposit $1,000 into this account, Robinhood allows me to borrow $2,000 of their money. So our borrowing power is sitting at $12,232.52. Margin total went up to $44,473.63. And our margin used went down to $32,241.11. The margin buffer went up $1,000, so it's now sitting at $11,392.23. I know you guys see that we do have a lot of buying power. That's just because we haven't placed any active trades yet. I'm kind of waiting to see how the market moves on Monday, and we'll place our option plays from there, specifically our cover calls on TSLL. And what else do we have? And maybe some puts that we can place on TSLL or possibly another ETF or stock that we're looking into. So let's go ahead and go to the mobile version of the app. All right, we are in the mobile version of the app, and let's see. So we don't have any different option plays that we we don't have any active option plays aside from the call that we placed on TSLL. I know I mentioned this briefly in the other video where this was going to be my first time buying a call, and so far it's not doing too bad. We're down about $84, but remember we risked about $256, something like that. Let's see what it is. $254. We bought these calls at $254. So with the expectation that these calls, well, TSLL will be above $12.5 by the time of September 5th, if I'm not mistaken. So which was around the time that the Fed's gonna make their decision. So it can go up. I can lose the 254, or I can gain some money from it. Either way, I don't. It doesn't really matter. This was a risk that I was willing to take within my portfolio to learn the side of buying calls, the buying side of options, because I usually just sell puts and sell covered calls on my account. So yeah, crypto. Let's get into crypto. Crypto is doing pretty relatively well. Let's see how we're doing on the week. Up $1,200 on the week, $1,211.07 to be exact. As you guys can see, we did get rid of our Bitcoin Cash position. I'm so glad I got rid of it. That cleared up about $700 in the portfolio, and I used that money to rebuy and reinvest into the YieldMax fund, specifically ULTY and MSTY, because those had some great buying opportunities. And I think I used some of it to buy some Tesla also, even though Tesla's been paying out trash dividends. I do want to make sure that when they do get back to where they were, that we do have some nice, decent bit of shares. So yeah, that's pretty much it for crypto. As far as our option plays, I'll show you guys what it was, what plays we placed. So we had two option plays expire worthless. So we placed a $12 put on TSLL, which meant that we didn't expect TSLL, or if TSLL fell below the $12 price by the expiration date, that we would get assigned, I think, was it 3 contracts, so which would be about 300 shares of TSLL, which will help me average down, bringing my average cost down. Right now, my average cost is at 12.72, but it obviously stayed above the $12 price range, and it did fall below the price range for a little bit. I'll show you guys what that looked like. Is it here? Yeah. So about halfway through the trading day, it did fall below, and I was considering rolling the position. I was like, should I roll it, or should I close it out? I was considering closing it out or either rolling it, but I ultimately decided to just let it do what it does. If I do get assigned, I'll take the assignment. So that was a good call on my part, because we didn't take any assignments and we didn't lose out on any of our profits or have to give back any of our profits. Also, the TSLL covered call, where is that at? This? Why is it not showing that? Did we close it out? Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so for the $13 call, I closed it out a little bit early on in the day. I closed it out for $22, 22. Let's round it up to $23. So our realized profit is about $704. I remember I showed you guys I made $726. So I gave up $22 in profit just to close the trade out, just to make sure I was locked in. I did that with the intention of placing the trades a little bit earlier for next week, but I want to see how it moves, for how the market moves on Monday, to really make a decision. So we'll just stay tuned for how I place those cover calls. We do have about 22 contracts to sell. We're gonna make a decent bit of money. I'll show you an example of what that looks like real quick. I don't want to take up too much time. So we go sell cover call, and I'm willing to sell it for at the $13 strike price. We got 22 contracts, so I'll show you example. 22 contracts. Change the bid to ask. I'll max it out, because I expect this to pump on Monday. So I'll be out 26. That will give me about a $571. Remember, this is not expected. This can change depending on how the markets move, or how TSLL moves or Tesla moves on Monday. So it can go up and down, and the bid to ask price is going to move exactly with that. So yeah, I do want to get rid of these shares. That's going to probably clear about $29,000 in my portfolio, which is going to bring down my margin by a lot. So my margin is at 32, so we'll be at $3,000 in margin minus the $1,000 that they don't charge us for interest free for being a gold member. As far as our stocks and ETFs, TSLL, we're sitting at 400 shares. MSTY, we're at 380 shares. We've seen some buying opportunities, so we bought back into it. MSTY is like, sitting at $17. I don't know if I've seen it at this price in a while. Like, has it ever? Okay, it has. It has early on in there. So, but it's been recovering. I expect MSTY to recover. At least a little bit. I don't think it's gonna sit at that $17 range because it does move with MSTR, which moves with Bitcoin. And then so I probably when the market opens up, I'll probably buy about 20, see about some good buying opportunity. But I'll try to buy about 20 shares of MSTY to make sure I get it to 400 shares. I think the next dividend payout is going to be about 2 weeks or a week and a half. And so that's going to be a nice payout. I expect to. We're only down about $889.62, and our dividend payouts are pretty much going to cover that. So ULTY, we also increased our positions. And guys, I gotta ask this question. But are we cooked on ULTY? Like, are we cooked on ULTY right now? Because ULTY is sitting at 591 right now. This is crazy. Is this the lowest it's ever been? Holy, 571? Is this? No, it's okay. It's had a low of 534. But yo, are we cooked? I gotta ask. We might be cooked on ULTY. Nah, I'm joking. I don't think we cooked. And even if you guys are saying we're cooked, you gotta understand that these YieldMax funds are not driven or for price appreciation. They're driven specifically for income. I like to use the income to build up the capital within my portfolio and buy into other investments. So that's what I use the income for, and that's why I turned off drip, because I like to invest actively. I manage my portfolio. I don't want to just buy in when the markets tell me to buy in or when they give me a payout. I like to buy in at my own prices. Like right now, I would think it's a good price to buy into it, but I'm comfortable at the 1,000 shares. Um, since we're at 50 shares, I'll probably buy about 50 more shares of it when the markets do open up to probably just get some more, bring my average cost down a little bit. We're only down about $291.68, and obviously this is a weekly payer. They did pay us about $100 as expected. $100 um on 1,000 shares. That's about 10 cents per share. And as you guys can see, we did keep buying in at different points. We bought in at 590.93, 591, 601. So yeah, we kept buying down to average down into this. So that's the update on MSTY. Got our $100 payout. Expecting another one next week. As long as this keeps paying $100 a week, I think we're gonna be good. If it does pay under $100 a week at any point, we might be a little bit cooked, because a lot of people are gonna sell out of the stock because they're expecting that 10 cent per share. But let's go into next. Next, we got YieldMax. This is also a weekly payer, still sitting at 101 shares. I do not buy back into this. It is falling a little bit. It's getting close to my average cost, which is pretty rare. But we're still up $19. Let's see how much they paid us this week. They only paid us $11.13, which is about $3 less than last week. And so it's not been performing too well. But I'll take the dividend payout. It's free money at the end of the day. Coney, we're still at 400 shares. No dividend payout for that. I think that's going to be in about a week or two. PLTW, we did purchase a little bit, like probably 2 more shares. And let's see, it's down on the week, as everything else is down. But let's see how much they paid us this week. They paid us about $14.34. Remember, this is a weekly payer that tracks Palantir, and it pays out on Tuesdays. So that's the update on PLTW. We're still up about $77, which is insane because this, like I said, this was an experimental position. The fact that we're up this much in such a short amount of time is amazing. Palantir has been on a tear, as I've been saying. Let's see. Everything else is pretty much the same. So let's go ahead and get to the traditional IRA. We're down about $100. We do have a $15 call Was that it's set to expire this week? $15 call. I think I rolled this. If I'm not mistaken, did I roll it? Yeah, short call rolled it for $42, and so yeah, that's pretty good. Good call on my part because I'm not willing to sell it for less than $15, because of my average cost is at 14.97, and we're down about 8.43 and 94 cents. We got 302 shares right now. Tech L, it's been, had some pullback. It's at 105 right now, but we're still up $80. Once again, another experimental position on the leverage fund. A lot of people are afraid of these leverage funds. Like I said, if you play in the long game and you understand what you're getting into and you're getting in at good points, these leverage funds aren't too bad things to get into. I would suggest it. I mean, I'm not going to suggest, I'm not a financial advisor, but y'all see what it's doing in my portfolio. In such short time, I'm up 33%. That's insane. Let's move on to the Roth IRA. Roth IRA is doing what it does, sitting at 29.58. This next week coming up, we're going to cross over $3,000. It is pretty stable. Roth IRA is pretty stable. You know the investments. These three investments are ETFs. We got SCHD, JEPQ, and SCHG. We're sitting at 55 shares for SCHD, 21 shares for JEPQ, and 8 shares for SCHG. As you guys know, I buy $8.40 into JEPQ and SCHD on a daily basis, and for SCHD, we buy $6 every week. So let's go ahead and see what the overall account is sitting at right now. All right, 74,000. Okay. All right. Now we're sitting at $75,273.86. Man, this is amazing, man. This is the highest the account has ever been. Actually, I'm gonna put up what the account was actually at this week. It got to a high of $78,000. I would have been so excited to show you all that, but we got to be realistic with our expectations. My portfolio is extremely volatile. You guys notice a lot of my holdings are within crypto, and I do have a lot of volatile ETFs that I track, specifically Tesla. It does help grow my portfolio a lot faster, but there is risk involved. So I wouldn't recommend copying the things that I do because my portfolio is set up a lot differently. You guys can use my portfolio as a way to, as an example, as a way to learn different things, see what type of mistakes might make in the portfolio, see how it can benefit you, and develop your own way of trading, develop your own strategy. Because my way of trading is geared towards my lifestyle and what I do. As you guys know, I dump in and deposit $1,000 on a weekly basis. Your circumstance may be different. It doesn't matter what you invest or deposit into your account on a weekly basis. Just make sure it suits you. And no, there's no right answer. You can do $50, you can do $10, you can do $100, you can do $300, you can do 500, 700. It doesn't matter, but just start investing now. It's the best advice I can give you, even though I'm not a financial advisor. Entertainment purposes only. But if you're consistent with these things, you're gonna reap the benefits, especially in the long term. Like I said, I got 3 different portfolios. One of them is really risky, which is my individual investing account. Extremely risky. My Roth IRA is completely no risk. It's just 3 simple ETFs. I do the same thing, automate the whole process. And then traditional IRA, I'm still kind of figuring out what I'm doing with it, trying to appreciate it. But we'll eventually figure out what we're doing. But this is how my portfolio is structured. If you guys didn't check out the last video where I showed you guys how I manage the volatility in my portfolio, I would recommend going ahead and checking it out. I'll put the link to that in the description below. So go ahead and check that out, how I manage the volatility in my portfolio. I think the next video I might make is an options trading video. Yeah, to show you guys my option plays for the week. I'll try to get it live for you guys, but I'm most likely gonna place my trades before I get on live. And yeah, I'll show you guys the aftermath of what it's like. I do want to bring to you guys a live trading video of me sometime again. I know you guys like that in the past, but scheduling is a little bit tough. So I'll just do the reviews and show you exactly how I went about it. And if you guys want the live updates, guys can join up on the Discord. The link to that is going to be in the description below. I will drop my live updates on whatever I'm doing, but I just can't do a video live. if you understand what I'm saying. I could do a review and explain exactly how I did it. I could show you better than I could tell you. But yeah, if I felt like this was useful or helpful in any way, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your post bell notifications, leave a comment down below for feedback. As I said, join up on the Discord for like-minded individuals like myself and updates on the weekly basis. And yeah, without further ado, it's Captain O'Neill, and I'm signing out.